Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Swarna Man's Biology. In this video, I will be explaining you about the life cycle of Plasmodium vivax. So let us start. So when we see the Plasmodium, what is Plasmodium? It is a common spore-forming sporogen parasite which causes malaria in the human beings. So this malarial parasite which infects these humans belongs to the four species of genus Plasmodium. So they are Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium malariae, and Plasmodium ovale. So there are four species of Plasmodium belonging to this genus. So they are Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium malariae, and Plasmodium ovale. And this malarial parasite are worldwide in distribution. In India, we can see mainly Plasmodium vivax and Plasmodium falciparum. So when we see the life cycle of Plasmodium, this malarial parasite completes its life cycle in two hosts. Means for completion of life cycle of this Plasmodium, it resides in two hosts. One is man and another is female Anopheles mosquito. So in man, it completes its sexual part of the life cycle. So man is a secondary host who is also called as intermediate host, whereas in the female Anopheles mosquito, it completes its sexual part of the life cycle. So female Anopheles mosquito is a definitive host, okay, or it is also called as primary host. So malarial parasite has two hosts, one is man and another is female Anopheles mosquito. So when coming to the human life cycle, this in the human life, in the humans, that is man, it completes its asexual part of the life cycle. Okay. So in man, the sporozoid means a stage which is called as sporozoid. It is the infective stage of the malarial parasite to the man. And these sporozoids, where they will be present, mainly they will be present in the salivary glands of the female Anopheles mosquito. So whenever the mosquito, which is having the sporozoids in its saliva, bites and sucks the blood of the man, these sporozoids are directly introduced into the blood circulation of the man, and it completes the following stages. So they are pre-erythrocytic zygogony, erythrocytic zygogony, gametogony, and exoerythrocytic zygogony. So we will be discussing each part of the life cycle. So in man, mainly completes the asexual part of the life cycle. So first, when the female Anopheles mosquito is biting and sucking the blood of a normal man, it is injecting the stage of the stage which is called as sporozoids. Okay, so these sporozoids which are introduced into the man through the bite of this mosquito mainly undergoes several stages. First, they enter into the liver cell. Means whenever the mosquito is biting and sucking the blood of a person, these sporozoids are introduced or induced into the man, and mainly they enter into the liver cells and starts the cycle which is called as pre-erythrocytic zygogony. These sporozoids now what they feed on the liver cells as they are going in and attacking the liver. It is feeding on the liver cell and becomes big in size. Okay, so that feeding stage is called as tropozoid, and later it increases in size, which it is called as zygont. Then later, the nucleus of the zygon divides by mitosis and forms small merozoites. So the entire life cycle means the entire stage to here we call it as pre-erythrocytic zygogony. Okay. It is taking place in the liver of the man, means it is taking place before entering into the RBC in the man. So it is called as pre-erythrocytic zygogony. Then after that, erythrocytic zygogony, where some of the merozoites now they enter into the RBC, and in the RBC they start feeding the contents of the RBC. Again, they develop several stages like tropozoid, zygon, and then divide and forms merozoites. And these merozoites now, the nucleus, along with the merozoites, bursts and liberates these merozoites into the blood. And these merozoites are now ready for the infection. And these merozoites later develop into gametocytes. There are two types of the gametocytes. That is now male gametocyte as well as female gametocyte. So this formation of the gametocytes, we call it as gametogony. Okay. So here, I will be clearly explaining the life cycle of the plasmodium, which entirely completes in the man. Okay. So this part. So now, as we have discussed, first the female Anopheles mosquito, which is having the sporozoid, means the infected female Anopheles mosquito, which is having the sporozoids in its saliva, bites and sucks the blood of a normal person. These sporozoids directly go and attack the liver cell of the man. So in the liver cell, they feed on the contents of the liver cell, becomes big in size and forms what is called as tropozoid. After that, it enlarges its size and forms what is called as zygont. Now, the nucleus of the zygont divides by mitosis, bursts, and liberates small merozoites to outside, what we are calling it as cryptozoites. Okay? So, these are called as cryptozoites. So, this part which is happening in the liver cell, it is called as pre-erythrocytic zygote. Now, these cryptozoites, again they attack the liver cell. Yes, they are attacking the another liver cell. Again, it feeds, grows in size, what is called as zygont. Nucleus of the zygont divides by mitosis and forms small merozoites. And these merozoites are liberated after the bursting of the liver cell, what we call it as metacryptomerozoites. So there are two types of the metacryptomerozoites, micro metacryptomerozoites as well as macro metacryptomerozoites. So micro metacryptomerozoites enter into the RBC, whereas macro metacryptomerozoites are entering into the liver cell again. Okay. So these micro metacryptomerozoites are now entering into the RBC. This part of the life cycle from the entry of the sporozoites into the liver cell and again entry of the sporozoites into the RBC, this part is called as exoerythrocytic zygogony. So there are two parts here. So one is pre-erythrocytic zygogony, where the sporozoites are entering into the liver cell and the merozoites, which are called as cryptozoites, are liberated. And these cryptozoites are again entering into the liver cell. And two types of the merozoites are liberated. They are micro metacryptomerozoites and as well as macro metacryptomerozoites. So micro are entering again into the liver, micro are entering into the RBC, whereas macro metacryptomerozoites are again entering into the liver cell. So this part is called as exoerythrocytic zygogony. So the first part is pre-erythrocytic zygogony and this part is exoerythrocytic zygogony. Now, these micro metacryptomerozoites are entering into the RBC. And now, this part of the life cycle is starting, which is called as erythrocytic zygogony. So, these micro metacryptomerozoites are entering into the RBC. They feed on the contents of the RBC. They enlarges in size, which is called as tropozoid. So, they feed on the contents of the RBC, which is called as tropozoid. Then, they develop a small vacuole and pushes the cytoplasm to the periphery, which is called as signet ring stage. Then they develop a pseudopodia-like stage, which is called as with a small blood vessel, which is called as amoeboid stage. Then it increases in size to the maximum, which is called as zygont. Then the nucleus of the zygont bursts and liberates small merozoites, which are surrounded by a small part of the cytoplasm, okay, which are arranged like a rose flower, what we call it as rosette stage. And now a small pigment, which is called as haemozoin pigment will also be formed. When the cell wall of this zygon bursts, it liberates these merozoites along with the haemozoin pigment, which mixes with the blood. So the liberation of the haemozoin pigment into the blood only it shoots up the fever in case of malaria. So up to now means the entry of the sporozoid up to the liberation of the hemozoin pigment into the blood, the patient will not experience any malarial symptoms. Only the fever shoots up only after the liberation of hemozoin pigment into the blood. So these merozoites which are liberated, develop into gametocytes. There are again two types of the gametocyte, macrogametocyte as well as microgametocyte, which are male and the female gametocyte. They will be circulating in the blood of that malarial patient. Okay, they will be present in the malarial patient. Whenever the mosquito, normal mosquito, comes and bites this malarial patient, now they are ready for entering into the mosquito and cause the life cycle in the mosquito. If they are not attacked by the mosquito, these merozoites which are present in the man will be residing for 7 to 10 days. Later, they will die. So by this time, this patient, if he is treated, he will be cured. Otherwise, slowly there will be increase in the number of the merozoites. Slowly, they will be damaging all the liver cells as well as blood cells, leading to the death of the person. So this part of the life cycle, which is and which where the sporozoites are entering into the liver cell, and again the part of the life cycle which is where the cryptozoites, that is, micro meta cryptozoites are entering into the RBC until the liberation of the gametocytes in the blood of the malarial patient. We call it as a sexual life cycle which is taking place in the man. So in the man, the sexual part of the life cycle is taking place in the liver, that is pre-erythrocytic cycle as well as exoerythrocytic cycle and erythrocytic cycle. Here, there are two types of the periods where means that is a prepatent period as well as incubation period. So first, what is prepatent period means? Entry of the sporozoite into the means the entry of the sporozoite into the liver cell, and again the entry of the cryptozoites again into the liver cell, we call it as prepatent period. Here, the patient will not experience any malarial symptoms. And there is another period where the entry of the sporozoite into the liver cell until the liberation of the haemozoin pigment or liberation of the merozoites in the RBC. That period we call it as incubation period. So after this only, the patient experience the malarial symptoms like high fever, shivering chill, and profuse sweating, etc. So this is about the life cycle of plasmodium in man. Okay. In our next video, we will discuss about life cycle of the plasmodium in mosquito. Okay. Hope you understood this video. If you like this video, please share, subscribe my channel, Swarnama's Biology. Thank you.